Imagine a void so absolute, so devoid of even the faintest echo, that it challenges the very fabric of existence. Not a gradual fading, not a slow decay into obscurity, but an instant, clean cut. One moment, presence. The next, nothing. No lingering scent, no faint signal, no digital ghost in the machine, just an absence so profound it feels like a presence in itself. This, my friends, is the chilling yet profoundly instructive nature of what I've come to call the vanishing echo cases. My name is Dr. Aris Thorne, and for decades, my work has centered on the edges of human understanding, on phenomena that defy logic and leave behind only questions. Of all the mysteries I've encountered, none are as perplexing or as strangely illuminating as those where individuals, groups, or even entire communities seem to have simply stepped out of reality. These aren't your typical missing person cases, where a trail, however faint, eventually leads to a discovery, however tragic. No, these are distinguished by a terrifying completeness. The instantaneous, simultaneous disappearance of every conceivable trace. Consider, if you will, the notorious Lumina incident, a case that has haunted investigators and philosophers alike for decades. It occurred in a small, self-sufficient research station nestled deep within the Antarctic wilderness. Lumina Station was home to 12 brilliant scientists and support staff dedicated to studying atmospheric phenomena. Their lives were meticulously documented: daily logs, biometric readings, satellite uplinks, internal communications, even personal journals and video calls with loved ones back home. Every piece of their existence was logged, monitored, and recorded. Up until the pivotal moment, their timeline was a picture of routine, dedication, and the occasional mundane complaints about the endless Antarctic night. On the 17th of June, at precisely 3:14 Greenwich Mean Time, the station's primary satellite uplink, which had been transmitting a steady stream of data just milliseconds before, flatlined. Not a stutter, not a crackle, not a distress signal, just silence, an immediate, deafening silence that resonated across thousands of miles to the monitoring centers in Geneva. Initial alarms were dismissed as a technical glitch, a power surge, perhaps an equipment malfunction in the harsh polar environment. But when backup systems failed to respond and repeated attempts to re-establish contact proved futile, a deep unease began to settle. Within hours, an emergency response team was dispatched. The journey was arduous, battling unforgiving blizzards and whiteouts. When they finally reached Lumina Station, what they found was not a scene of disaster, but of eerie, pristine normalcy. The external generators hummed quietly. The lights inside were on. The automatic weather sensors continued to transmit data about the biting cold outside. But inside was nothing. Every single individual was gone. Not a single footprint in the freshly fallen snow around the entrance. Despite the fact that the last recorded activity showed Dr. Evelyn Reed, the station's lead meteorologist, had been scheduled for an external equipment check just an hour before the silence. Her heavy-duty parka and boots were still hanging by the door, exactly where she'd left them. Her coffee mug sat half-empty on her desk, a faint wisp of steam, if one could imagine it, still rising from its surface. The last digital log entry, time-stamped 3 hours 13 minutes and 59 seconds, was an update on a thermal sensor reading. The next entry, slated for 3 hours 14 minutes and 0 seconds, simply wasn't there. The search was exhaustive, unprecedented in its scope. Every inch of the station was scoured. Every data server was meticulously examined. Every piece of communication equipment was dissected. And the findings were always the same. Nothing. There was no evidence of a struggle, no signs of a breach from the outside, no indication of an internal conflict, no fire, no explosion, no structural damage. Their personal effects photographs, letters, laptops, even their carefully packed emergency rations remained untouched, exactly as they had been left. It was as if the 12 people had simply been excised from existence. The digital footprint, usually an immutable record of our lives, had also vanished, not corrupted, not deleted, but simply asterisk. Gone asterisk at the precise moment of the uplink failure. Their personal cloud storage, their social media accounts, their banking records all became static, frozen in time at 3:14 GMT. It wasn't a data wipe, it was a data void. The last email sent by one of the researchers to his daughter was dated the day before. The last text message, a mundane query about dinner, was sent between two colleagues at 3:12. Then, the digital stream simply ceased. No la signa, no frantic call, no final keystroke. Authorities, accustomed to tangible clues, blood, fingerprints, a motive, a weapon, a note, were left utterly bewildered. Their investigation shifted from searching for what happened to explaining the silence itself. How could 12 people in a secure, isolated location, with every facet of their lives under digital surveillance, simply vanish without leaving a single, solitary trace? The official conclusion, if one could even call it that, was a perfect void in the records. Cause unknown. Fate undetermined. This lack of closure, this gaping hole in the narrative of human events, is what truly instills fear. The fear of not being able to know, of facing an absolute, impenetrable mystery. But here's where the profound, albeit unsettling, inspiration emerges from the heart of such a void. What if the very completeness of the disappearance holds a hidden lesson? What if the absence itself points us towards the profound importance of presence? Think about those timelines before the event. Normal activity, routine, the everyday hum of life. We often rush through these moments, taking them for granted. We're so focused on the destination, the next task, the grand plan, that we overlook the subtle nuances of the now. The Lumina incident, and cases like it, force us to consider, were there small details, anomalous behaviors, or last-minute decisions overlooked before the event? Not necessarily clues to their disappearance, but clues to their asterisk presence, a fleeting expression, an uncharacteristic pause, a decision made in haste or contemplation. We search for the asterisk, cause asterisk of the disappearance, but perhaps the true insight lies in understanding the asterisk quality asterisk of the existence that preceded it. These cases, with their chilling perfection of absence, compel us to re-evaluate our own existence. They whisper a powerful, if unsettling, truth. Everything is transient. Our digital footprints, our physical presence, our very memories, they are not immutable. And if something or someone can vanish so completely, what does that tell us about the preciousness of our own moments, our own connections, our own ability to truly see and be seen? The fear of not knowing what happened to the occupants of Lumina Station is a natural human response. But what if we shift our perspective? What if the true inspiration isn't in solving the unsolvable, but in understanding what this void teaches us about asterisk ourselves asterisk? It's a profound call to awaken, to be fully present in our lives, to cherish the tangible, the observable, the connections we forge. For in a world where traces can vanish without warning, the greatest legacy we can leave is not just a record of our existence, but the indelible mark of a life truly lived, truly observed, and truly connected. The Lumina incident might be a mystery without a conclusion, but its silence echoes with a powerful message. Pay attention. Be, era, and now. Subscribe to follow upcoming videos on the channel